Mozambique is one of the world's least visited countries. Many Europeans, particularly Portuguese, have selected this country as their permanent residence because of its climate, scenery, and economic living conditions. Join me to discover more about living in Mozambique and other fascinating facts. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any of the upcoming content that's in store. Now that that's taken care of, let's get started. 1. The environmental conservation zones where safari expeditions can be taken are one of the key tourist attractions in Mozambique. These protected areas, which include 6 national parks and 6 national reserves, cover more than 12% of the country. The Niassa National Reserve is the country's largest protected area, where tourists can see lions, leopards, elephants, buffalo, zebras, wild dogs, and other species. 2. The giraffe's population in Mozambique has dropped significantly as a result of years of conflict, habitat destruction, and uncontrolled use of natural resources. Reintroductions have taken place in recent years, and it is estimated that there are now roughly 250 South African giraffes in the country. 3. Due to poaching and civil violence, rhinos became extinct in Mozambique 40 years ago. However, in 2022, 20 white rhinos and 7 black rhinos were reintroduced to several national parks from South Africa. 4. Poaching has been a concern in Mozambique for decades. Rhino horn prices range from $3,600 to $17,000, with China and Vietnam being the 2 largest markets where they serve a purpose in traditional medicine. Dehorning, or filing down rhino horns, is a practice used to stop poachers from killing rhinos. However, the horns regrow after a few years, and poachers take advantage of the rhino's weight. So even if the horns haven't grown back entirely, they may still kill them. If you're an animal advocate, there are several websites where you can volunteer to help protect rhinos and other species. 5. If you have children and live in Mozambique, you may prefer private schools because public schools are overcrowded and under-resourced. The healthcare system is deficient, particularly in metropolitan areas. It's better in Maputo, but for serious conditions, it's best to have private medical insurance and seek care in South Africa. Medical insurance is very crucial because if you are in an accident, you may have to pay for treatment upfront. Another crucial aspect to remember is to always take malaria prevention medication and protect yourself from mosquito bites, as malaria is an endemic disease in the country. 6. Mozambique has 30,000 kilometers of road, but only 5,600 are paved, and the majority are in and around Maputo and other major cities. For expeditions beyond these restricted regions, 4-wheel drive vehicles are required, as smaller vehicles are unsuitable. There are also approximately 3,100 kilometers of railways that are used by both locals and visitors. 7. Mozambique is one of the poorest countries on the African continent, and it is frequently hit by devastating droughts and cyclones that cause coastal flooding. The country is relatively unpopulated, with the majority of inhabitants living along the coast or in the lush Zambezi River Valley in the north. 8. Water buffaloes, elephants, wild boars, leopards, baboons, giraffes, zebras, antelopes, lions, rhinos, hippos, crocodiles, and many other species can be found in the country. 9. The Plasmodium falciparum mosquito, which transmits malaria, is the deadliest animal in Mozambique. However, there are deaths caused by other animals, particularly crocodiles. Every year, several dozen people are killed by these reptiles, with the majority of victims being children and women who go to rivers to bathe, gather water, or wash clothing. 10. Snakes, such as pythons, deadly vipers, and cobras, can be found all across the country. Flamingos, cranes, storks, herons, pelicans, and other water birds can also be seen, primarily in the northwest wetter areas. 11. Agriculture and fishing are the mainstays of the regional economy. More than 80% of Mozambicans are farmers. Shrimp, cotton, sugar, and citrus are among Mozambique's principal exports. The country is also one of Africa's top cashew nut growers. 12. Mining is also important in Mozambique, with gold and tantalum, a metal used in electronics, being the primary resources. 13. The country is home to over 80 languages, including Swahili, which is spoken in the country's northwest, and Shona, which is the predominant regional language along the border with Zimbabwe. Songa is a language spoken in the southern areas. All schools teach Portuguese as a foreign language. 14. The country's wide coastline in the Mozambique Channel provides some of Africa's best natural harbors, allowing it to play an important part in the Indian Ocean's maritime economy. Meanwhile, its white sandy beaches are a big draw for the region's developing tourism economy. Fertile soils in the northern and central parts, on the other hand, have resulted in diverse and abundant agriculture, and the Zambezi River has provided adequate water for cultivation, while also serving as the foundation for a regionally large hydroelectric power industry. 15. Mozambique's convoluted history has stopped its people from benefiting from natural resources and creating a stable economy. Following independence in 1975, Mozambique faced internal war as the Marxist government, backed by the Soviet Union, fought for control of the country against anti-communist militias, funded by South Africa and the former Rhodesia. 16. Mozambique's Civil War, which began in 1977, displaced 4 million people and killed 1 million more due to violence, starvation, and disease. The conflict ended in 1992, but the consequences continue to this day. Furthermore, 90% of the massive mammals in several of the country's national parks were slaughtered. 17. The region has been populated since the 4th century BC, with the earliest coastal settlements founded in the 9th century AD. The Swahili culture was dominant throughout this period. 18. The name Mozambique is derived from Musa bin Beek, an Arab trader who established on an offshore island in the 15th century. The capital city was located on this island at the time until 1898, when it was relocated to Maputo, which is located on the mainland. 19. Slaves were an important part of Mozambique's exploitation trade in the 18th century. Slave networks were established by Yao traders from the Morave area, around the coast of Lake Nyasa to Kilwa and the island of Mozambique. 20. Nyasa, the largest lake in the area, is shared by Mozambique, Malawi, and Tanzania. Sightings of the Dzimwe sea serpent have been reported in this lake. A newspaper published a story in 1905 about a party of missionaries who were attacked by a sea serpent while sailing on a boat. 21. Mozambique Island, an island city in Nampula province, is now the only site on UNESCO's World Heritage List. The island is home to the earliest town and the fort of Sao Sebastião. It was previously the key trading center on the way to India. 22. Due to its close proximity to South Africa, Ponta de Ouro is a popular beach vacation destination for many South Africans. The beaches are golden, and there are several resorts in the region. You can see loggerhead and leatherback turtle nesting sites near Ponta Mamoli. 23. The Gorongosa National Park is located at the southern end of Africa's Rift Valley. During the Civil War, this place was severely damaged, and the majority of the animals were poached. Only approximately 200 elephants survived, but because of rehabilitation efforts, the herds have begun to recover. Park rangers are now tracking and protecting them. 24. The discovery of enormous natural gas and oil deposits off the northern coast of the country resulted in the formation of new industries in the region. South Africa, India, the Netherlands, China, the United Arab Emirates, and Portugal are Mozambique's key trading partners. 25. Approximately 2.1 million Mozambicans have HIV or AIDS, and the country is one of the top 3 with the highest incidence of this disease among their populations. Mozambique is the 3rd most afflicted country after South Africa and India. And there you have it, 25 fascinating facts about Mozambique. Thanks for joining me on this journey. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more exciting content. Where should we visit next?